Welcome back to the Colloquy. Today we have two very special guests.
Yes.
They're special to us because they are my sister and my brother, my biological sister and her husband. I would call him my brother-in-law, but he's actually my brother.
He's our brother.
So I'm not going to delay it. We're going to have a good time. We're going to do some talking here, and I'm going to bring him to the stage now.
Let's go.
I'll bring to the stage Martin and Shakita. La Familia. How y'all doing?
Yeah, how y'all doing?
How y'all doing?
And for our audience, that's not me. That's not a carbon copy of me. That's just my sister having a
I know.
Bald with a beard. You know, I can't.
Handsome.
Yeah, you know.
Can't help it.
It is what it is.
We in right now.
So listen. First of all, tell the audience who you are and how long you guys have been married. Whichever one of you guys want to do that.
Well, I'm Martin. This is my wife, Shakita. We've been married 10 wonderful years.
10 years. Has it been 10? That's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. Time is flying.
And he ain't ran off yet. I lost a bet behind that, Martin. I said, this dude ain't going to last 2 years in this family. I thought for sure you'd have ran off.
Hey,
boy,
let me
just know that prayer works. Amen.
I thought at the second I was like, oh, he too nice. He ain't gonna make it in this family. You gotta be a thug around here.
Oh my goodness.
So why don't we start by like the softball? Just tell us how you met. I want to hear from both of you guys' perspective because folk get on here and start lying about how they met. So I really want to know. Yeah, you. Yes, you.
You want to go first?
Yeah. So me and Shakita actually met at church. So she had just moved to Mobile, and she had came to church with her older sister, and she became a member, after a little while. But yeah, I met her at church, and it's been, the same way since.
So Martin,
a whole lot of
Yeah. So when you first laid eyes on my dear baby sister,
okay,
what were your thoughts, man? What was going through your mind there?
So when I first saw her, I didn't see her as oh yeah, she fine, she attractive. I just kind of oh, that's the new person in the church, okay, cool. But it was one time, and it's funny because we were talking about this story probably a couple of weeks ago. I was helping her move some furniture because she was moving to her own place. So I was helping her move some furniture, and when she came out to meet me, that's when I first saw her. Who is that? I was like, man, okay,
No, you said you missed the part. You missed the part.
Okay, I ain't want to put that out there, but we
put it out there for the people.
I already know what he's gonna say. All right.
Put it out there for the people.
So when she came out, right? So she was wearing these they were
you asked the question.
So she was wearing these velour pants, like pink velour pants, and that's really kind of what caught my eye. It was what she was wearing, or how the pants fit her. That's what caught my eye first, and I was like, then I looked. I'm like, okay, yeah, all right, yeah, I like that, yeah.
Yes,
I like that.
Hey man, look, it is what it is. It is what it is. Even though I get it, you know what I'm saying. I'm not even gonna front.
Right.
So Keena, how about you?
I mean, he told it right. We met at church. The first time I saw him was at church. Now, mind you, let's just take it back a little bit.
My
oldest sister now, our oldest sister, she had told me about Martin when we were living in Texas, when I was living in Texas. So I already heard of him, but I wasn't thinking about no betting. I wasn't thinking about him. I was like, I'm trying to move. Can you help a sister out? That's what I was thinking about. She tried to tell me about some dude at church. I wasn't thinking about all that. But when I saw him, I was like, oh, okay, that's Martin. But when I first saw him out, it was pretty much the same thing. It was like, oh, okay, that's Martin or whatever. He cute or whatever, but I wasn't really seeing him like that. But the first time I think I was attracted to Martin, which is totally different than what he said, was when he I think he had inboxed me on Facebook, and we were kind of having a conversation back and forth. And the conversation that we had is what like kind of like made me think more of him than just, a friend.
Okay.
So it was a conversation because he was different from the other previous men that I had dated. So that's what caught my attention to him.
So much going on here. I'm not even, I'm not even going to put you out there like that. I'm just saying.
But are you seeing the pattern?
I do see the pattern.
Yes.
So
would you like to share the pattern?
No.
Okay.
I don't think about
No, it's a simple pattern. How visually he was attracted to her initially, and how emotionally her connection was when the Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Where your mind at?
No, I think she capping, man. I hope that.
You think?
Yeah, I do. I believe my baby sister's capping. She had eyes on that man from the first time she saw him.
Oh.
She was just waiting to see if it lined up together. If it's
that's not true. That's absolutely not.
So how did y'all become a couple after the conversation that you had with him that you like so much? Like, okay, who made the first move? Like, we doing this?
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, I made the first move.
Martin did.
Okay, how you doing, Martin?
Yeah,
I don't remember really. It was I think we just kind of conversated, and after a while we kind of started hanging out, and it just went from there.
That's literally how it happened.
Did y'all know that Chantel was the aggressor in our relationship? Did you know that?
I could almost see that.
She was the aggressor in every scenario. She was the aggressor because we were kind of hanging out or whatever, and I was kind of beating around the bush that I wanted to be exclusive, and she was like, "Yeah, you my man." That's what she told me.
Like
we go together.
We already together. Like what?
Yeah, she told me we go together. That's what she told me.
that never happened.
Oh,
that never
That
happened.
is what happened, sis. What happened? That was 24 years ago. You can't remember that. Anyway. Okay, so you want to play who kissed who first?
Because you took too long. You kept hugging me.
I rest my case.
Hey girl, give me a hug. Hey girl, give me a hug. You know what? Give me them lips.
I rest my case.
This hugging cool, but
she was the aggressor. I told you she was the aggressor.
I knew what you were doing. You were building it up with the little lie first, and then you
That wasn't a lie.
That wasn't a lie. Anybody said we go together.
You said you my man.
I did not say you're my man.
You did. We were in the car.
What a liar you are.
You
this isn't about us.
See, this is what happens. This is what happens when you get older. You start forgetting stuff. That's what happened. I'm telling you.
Anybody
you said that.
I know.
Yes, ma'am. You did.
Okay. Go to question number 2.
The Lord knows.
He do.
Yes.
Lord, you are a witness between he and thee.
So listen, family. All right. So fast forward. Yeah.
Edit that out.
Fast forward 10 years. Obviously, as a couple ages and you're together long enough and you go through a few things and you learn a lot. 10 years is a long time. A lot of couples don't even make that long. I think the average for most couples, I think it's like 4 or 5 years. It's like it ain't even 7 no more. It's dropping.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's getting pretty bad out here in these streets.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you guys to tell our audience something that you guys have learned in the 10 years that you guys have been together that you didn't know before you got married. It don't have to be necessarily about each other. It could just be about relationships or about yourself.
Yeah.
Communication is key.
That is true. Very important.
I would say that was the rough spot when we first got married, because I was the one that likes to talk about their feelings and Martin was not. And I know that's kind of normal, I guess, with the male. They don't really talk about their feelings or talk about things they're dealing with. They kind of deal with it the way that they deal with it. But I was the person like, no, we need to sit down and we need to talk about it. But Martin wasn't like that. And he was like that, period, before. So that was something that I had to be patient with him and not be aggressive and trying to tell him, like, we need to talk about it. We need to talk about it. I had to learn how to pray and give him the space that he needed So he'll be able to talk to me. So he'll be able to build that trust with me, to communicate with me about his feelings, about things like that. And I didn't have that at first, but I had to go to God and ask him to help me in that area so I can know how to communicate with him, so he'll be able to open up to me.
Yes.
Well said.
I think that's one of the things that a lot of young ladies don't realize is that the world's not a safe place for most men, especially in relationships.
Yeah.
It's not safe. And people get real weird when people say that about men, but you can really get beat up pretty bad in a relationship as a man if you open up too much.
Yeah.
Because if you open up too much, you're seen as too sensitive. If you open up enough, then you're shut down. And so it's really your job as a wife to create that safe place for your husband to be vulnerable. And that takes time.
Yeah.
That takes trust. That takes consistency. And a lot of young ladies just expect a man to just be like, well, I'm your wife. You're supposed to tell me everything. But when I tell you something, you see, you want the truth. But when I tell you the truth, you can't handle the truth.
That's true.
It's like that sometimes though. Yeah.
Yeah. So you end up filtering like your feelings to shield her from it, because if you do tell her, she might blow up. If you don't tell her, she might blow up. If you tell her too much, she might just not be able to take it. So it's like you're often left as a man trying to figure out how to navigate a woman's emotions. And a lot, especially when you're young, like when you were young, when you got married, Martin, I was young when I got married. Yeah. So you're trying to figure yourself out. And now you got this other person that you're concerned about, and you're trying to shield them from the world or from whatever's going on. And so a lot of times it comes off as you being shut down, but really you just don't know what to do. So so you do nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that definitely was me in the beginning, because it was like I was always that person that I always considered other people's feelings anyway. And then when I got married, it went to like another level, because now I'm married. So now I gotta really be like, okay, if I say this gonna cause her to feel like this, but I don't want her to feel like this. So maybe I should say it the same thing, which is the truth, but I should say it in a different way. So then it's like, but she's like, we need to talk. And I'm like, I'm trying to figure out how to say this without being considered rude or, like I just don't care, whatever. And sometimes she would kind of be like, no, we need to talk, And I would be like, all right, cool. All right, here it is. However it comes out, that's how it is. And then it would kind of cause, like a rift between us. And now it's like, I don't want to talk to you because you just don't care about my feelings. And I'm like, no, I don't. I do care about your feelings. But, it's just the whole thing. So, but we got past that, because like she said, she had to go to God and say, when is the right time to go to him, when he's not, trying to figure out things, and, maybe I can come to him at this time. So when she figured that out, then things became better.
And I had to respect his space too, because it was times that I did want to talk right then and there, and he'll be like, no, not right now. And even though I was ready to talk, I still had to respect that he needed his space until he was ready to talk. Now, if it's like a week, I can't do a whole week, but I'm gonna give you a day or two to sort things out, and then we have to come back and talk about it, because again, it's a respect thing too. And I think that a lot of people in marriages, they don't respect each other's spaces. If that person needs time, give them that time. I was telling him yesterday, like, if I'm upset about something, if I can't, and I do this with him or anybody, if I'm upset with somebody, I can't talk to somebody, and I gotta do like the Bible says, I gotta go in the cooler today, and I gotta get my nerves calmed down before I can talk to somebody about my feelings, because I'm an emotional person. I can admit that. I've always been like that. I'm still like that.
I do.
That's surprising.
That's great.
But I'm an emotional person.
I never would have guessed that.
I know, crazy. Yes. But I'm an emotional person, so I don't want to talk right now, because I may say something that I may regret, something that may, he may think about it further down the line, be like, no, I can't go talk to Keita, because that time that she, you never know how it's going to affect the person. Mm-hmm. So that's why we have to respect each other's space. And when they say I need some time, okay, give them that time.
Yeah, we always tell couples that when you get married, you sign up to be a lifelong student of your marriage. You are forever learning about your spouse, forever. It doesn't stop. And after 23 years of being married, 24 together, we are still literally learning things every single day about each other. You are signing up like you sign up for college course. This is your college course, your lifelong course. And when you old and gray with no teeth in your mouth, you still learning.
Yes.
You really, really are. So, and another thing that we always tell people is that communication is the relationship. And when you stop communicating, the relationship has stopped. So you have to be able to navigate those difficult conversations. But you never really guess, okay, you're starry-eyed, you're getting married, he's in his tux, you're in your beautiful gown, you're walking down the aisle and you're like, yes, we're getting married, we're finally together, we love each other, and this is it. This is all we got to do. No,
it just
you literally just roll up your sleeves like you're just starting, and it's going to take time. And I love how you both said you had to grow into where you are. And every couple goes through that steep learning curve of how to communicate with their partner. And there are moments when it's tough. And there are moments when it seems like one is shut down and the other one isn't, or whatever you're dealing with. But if you just stick with it and continue being persistent, you'll get over it. But it's hard.
Extremely hard.
Mm-hmm. So, I have a question when you're ready.
When Martin, we got to hear Martin's. That was just his.
Yeah.
That was just hers.
Yeah.
What about you, Martin?
Is that the same?
No.
You have your own.
No, that was it.
Oh, okay. Both of us agreed. Okay.
No, but it was really good on both of you guys, man. Because communication is a relationship, and if you can't communicate, then you really don't have a very good relationship. Almost every couple that comes in our door has a communication problem. And that's typically where all the problems start from. Yeah. When you say?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then we always go back, like, okay, we always say, well, let's go back to your childhood. Who modeled communication for you? And they're like, my dad never said anything and my mom always yelled, or like you can just take it back to childhood most of the time. That's where you learn those formative years and the environments you grew up in. You're learning those patterns of communication, what you saw and what you didn't see. You start kind of you're like a sponge as a child. And so you bring all of that into your marriage.
Yeah.
So,
there's so much talk. I don't know how deep into YouTube you guys are, but there's so much talk on the social media and YouTube about relationships and should you do this, should you do that, should you do this, should you have separate bank accounts, all this other things. So we won't throw one of those questions out to you guys. What are your guys' thoughts on friends of the opposite sex for your spouse? What do you think about
that? That's a very touchy subject.
Yeah.
So
do we need to talk about it? Do we need to stop recording?
Okay, I don't think
we'll be right back.
So I don't have a problem with Martin has friends of the opposite sex. He has friends that he worked with that's of the opposite sex. Like I ain't gonna say call names, whatever.
Yeah.
But, and he talks about them, whatever. So I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is that when it becomes so involved with him and you don't want to involve me at all. Like if he says, well, can I invite my wife, to whatever, she has some type of party. Well, no, I just wanted you to come. Then my antennas go up then because of the society that we live in and with women, I don't have a lot of trust when it comes to women of the opposite sex when they act a certain way just towards him and they don't include me or they don't want to include me. Then I start thinking like, okay, then what's really going on? Like why do you want to be friends with him and things like that? That kind of thing goes in my head. I don't have a problem with it, but in certain areas that I do have a problem with.
I hear you. Yeah, it makes sense. What about you, Martin?
Yeah, I would say the same. As long as I meet the guy or whatever, and I kind of get a feel for him or whatever, all right, cool. And as long as y'all keep it like formal, like I want to go hang out or something like that. Maybe as a group, yeah. But it was like, hey, it's we're gonna catch this movie at 7:00. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Yeah, but we're pretty much like with me and Martin, like all the friends that we have, that we're all mutual friends.
Yeah.
Like I know his friends, we cool. He knows my guy friends, and we cool. Like I have a long time friend. I always talk about I don't keep anything from him. Like me and him don't talk all the time, but ever so often we'll text. We've been knowing each other since we were teenagers. You know, he's never met Martin, but Martin knows about him. You know, we don't hide stuff like that from each other, you know, or things like that, because we just try to keep an open communication with it, because we don't want anything to try to come in and try to seep in each other's mind that there is something going on or anything like that.
I totally agree. I think, you know, a lot of people have these hard and fast rules. You know, you can't have no friends of opposite sex, you know, this and that. I think it really depends upon what you can agree upon as a couple.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I think it's really important that you guard the sanctity of your marriage, like you guys were saying. And I just don't believe in it. I think the longer you're together, the less friends you have. It's just kind of the way you become each other's best friends and like things like that. It's certain things that husbands just don't do, and certain things wives just don't do. What's good for the goose has to be good for the gander. You know, I don't ever want my wife don't need to be one-on-one with no man. You know, movie hanging out. I don't care what he is, what he look like. I don't care what he do. I don't care what orientation he is. If you get what I'm saying, you don't need to be one-on-one with no man ever, just for safety purposes. And I don't need to be one-on-one with no woman. I don't need to be running around here. You know, if it's a coworker or something, we have to go somewhere together or whatever. That's fine, no big deal. That's where trust comes in. But I'm never going to put myself in a situation to obscure the sanctity of my marriage. And I think a lot of people there's a lot of you just insecure. No, I'm smart. It's gonna do it here. Like it's understanding how the world really works. And a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people, pastors or something like that. There was one guy on Instagram. He's very popular. If I named him, you would know who I'm talking about. But he was like, you know, it's gotta be sad if you just can't trust yourself around another person of the opposite sex. I'm like, it ain't about trust. It's about what it looks like. It's about it's the optics of it. I don't need somebody to be out and see me with another woman, kicking on my feet, kicking with another woman somewhere. That's not a good look.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Look, it's a setup. And nobody don't go out and see my wife cuddled up with some other dude kikiing either. It's a bad look. And you actually asking for problems that way.
Yeah. So
can you have friends of opposite sex? I think, under certain circumstances. We did a whole video on that, I think, but
we did.
Yeah, but it has to be under the right circumstances and the right situation. That's what I feel about it.
Yeah, I agree. Whoever you are friends with, whether it's a long time friendship, like you grew up with this person, or you went to college with them, or whatever, or if it's even a new friend that's coming into the relationship now, they have to be mindful and respectful of. It's not just me; it's we. And if you can't respect that it's we, then the can kick the door, kick Rob. Did you like that? I did that. And then I said the. Okay. Yeah. But I'm serious. Like, thanks. But you have to be respectful of that. And like you said, if you're just wanting my exclusive one-on-one time primarily, then that is a red flag. And that's a conversation for me and that individual. I know, we whatever work together, went to school together, whatever it is, but it's we. So that's what you have to make people respect, that boundary.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Anything that's a threat to your marriage has to go.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is or who it is. That's mom, dad,
family, friends.
If it's a threat to your marriage and it's causing problems in your marriage, if it doesn't respect the boundaries of your marriage, it's got to go.
Right.
And I think that's a huge argument among a lot of married people. They want to be married, but they still want to have all this autonomy. That's not the way. You're one now. You are absolutely one in God's eyes and the eyes of the state of wherever you in, or wherever you got married at. You're one. And so if you don't respect me, you don't respect her. You don't respect me. Yeah. So now we have a problem. So I think that's.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest threats to relationships is familiarity.
Oh,
you have friends, family, you have so and so. I knew you before you was married. Well, that was before, and that's great. But this is my relationship now. This is my marriage now, and this is how this is the boundary line. And if they can't, respect that, unfortunately, you have to draw those hard, fast lines, and even sometimes distance yourself. So that's the hard part.
Yes.
Well, if you could name a theme song that symbolizes your marriage, what would it be?
Let's see. Uncle Luke, what's that song you did? No,
No, if you would. Okay.
That's the first since Mark got something else going on. So when we got married, at our reception, our song that we danced on our first dance was by I think it's
Tony Terry.
Tony Terry, When I'm With You.
Oh yeah.
So that, to me, that is a song as far as when I'm with him, that's what I feel. That's exactly how I feel. I feel protected. I feel confident. I feel loved. All of those things. It is like, it's very, very, it's real, but sometimes it feels unrealistic, because I do sometimes, and I still do after 10 years, I kind of wake up and I see him and I'm like, dang, I'm married to him. You know, I know you probably do that, Chantel, sometimes with Mark, you know, that you just look at him and you like, I'm married to him. You know, I'm married to this amazing guy, you know. And so that's why we picked that song, because it related to us so much.
Oh, I love that.
That was the song. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a song that we picked. That's our story. That's who we are to each other, because we all we got.
You know what?
Once
you realize that, that's real talk.
That's real.
Once you realize that, your whole relationship changes. Once you realize, like, this is us. It's us against the world for the rest of it, and everything else doesn't matter. If it falls away, it falls away. But us, we gonna stand like that. Once you realize that, your whole relationship changes.
At the end of the day, we always say, as long as my Creator is pleased with me, God is pleased.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
And this man right here, good. Hey, Sharon, you know I love you, but hey, you down on the priority list. It is God first, and this man right here. Everybody else, y'all will be all right. You will be okay. I promise you, okay. That is what it is at the end of the day.
That's what it takes. That's what it takes to make it. That's what people always ask, what's the recipe? It is us against every problem. It's never me and her against the problem. It is us against the problem. It's never you the problem, you the problem. No, we're working this thing together.
Yes.
So for us, for me,
I have my own.
I got my song for her is Babyface, Every Time I Close My Eyes.
Oh, I love it.
So we were supposed to, little known fact, we were supposed to play it at our wedding, which you were there, Keita. We were supposed to play it at our wedding, but I left the CD in my truck, so we ended up dancing to like R. Kelly or something, which is really aged really badly now, but whatever. Fine. It's okay. It's fine.
What song was that? What song about R. Kelly?
I think it was Favorite Girl. We danced to Favorite Girl. Yeah. But I'm saying the whole thing with R. Kelly and stuff.
Yeah, we don't
kind of aged badly, but whatever.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
So on our wedding video, on our wedding VHS, that's how long we've been last. So we got a VHS for our wedding.
We gotta convert that. Can we still convert it? Is it too late?
Big old VHS.
Can you still do it?
I don't even know.
VHS. I gotta Google that. What's a VHS?
That's how long we've been married, bro. Yeah.
I think you can still do that.
That's my song. Every time I hear that song, I think about her. You know how thankful I am for her and everything that we built together over these years, the ups and downs, and we've had plenty. But that's my jam for my girl. What you got, Mom?
Mine is No Ordinary Love by Sade.
Oh, okay.
That's a good song.
You trying to dance? Say it? Okay.
Sade.
Not say it.
Yeah, because this is a love that I've never seen before. Because growing up the way I grew up, and I've never seen this. I wanted it, but I had never seen it, and then God really worked on my heart so that I could experience it. So No Ordinary Love.
There you go.
I like it.
That's beautiful. I love it. Oh,
it's good. Nice to meet you. Good to be here. That's decent. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So how important has it been for the two of you to have a village of people to support you in your marriage? What role does support play in your marriage?
So, when you say village, well, with us, we have like a handful of people. So we don't really hang out with like a whole lot of people or whatever. But we do have people that we can reach out to you know, at any time, and you know, say, hey, look, this is what we're dealing with. You know, can we get some advice? You know, whatever. So we do have, you know, those select few people that we can go to when we need anything for our marriage. But and they do play a important part of, you know, us growing together.
To be honest with you, when because I did read that question, and I think that was one of the harder questions I would say for us, because I know Mark was talking about earlier. I think that you were talking about the marriage and how it's looking out there in the street in these streets with marriages, and it's been a little hard because, you know, we have seen some couples that we've been around that, you know, they're either going through something or they're not together anymore. So it's like the village has gotten smaller. If that's safe to say, it's gotten smaller. So when we look to people, honestly, I still look up to you and Chantel as mentors. Y'all are really, as a young couple, y'all are our mentors that we look up to. We have maybe one or two other couples that we can go to and talk to, like he said, but it's not a vast village of people that we can look up to as far as the structure of a marriage, of how it's supposed to be, and being very real and honest about their marriage. Just being honest, and that's why it's just, I said we all we got, because when we talk about things or we discuss things, it's really like we have to truly go to God, and we can only go to select a few people that we trust when we do have certain things that come about that we may be dealing with or something like that. And it's saddening to me, and me and Martin have discussed this about, especially the and I'm not trying to get off subject, but the Christian community is of marriages that it's really like it's just crumbling down. It's very heartbreaking to me, because I would have never thought that I would see the day when the Christian marriages were struggling more than the worldly marriages, you know.
Yes.
And so that's something that I've been currently dealing with as a wife, trying not to allow what I see or what I hear to try to get in my mind to come into my marriage and make me think a certain way about, is my marriage going to survive? Because everybody else's marriage that I looked up to, it seemed like they're not surviving. So what about mine? So that's when I started seeing that happen, that's what made me and Martin started working harder to make sure that we don't allow anything that the enemy may try to bring in, or anybody else may try to come in and try to break up what God put together. And that's what we're trying to make sure, that we keep God as our foundation, that we don't allow any type of whatever may be going on around us, that don't have to be our plight. And we want to make sure that we do have a good marriage. Is it going to be happy all the time? Absolutely not. But we want to make sure that we have a good marriage, and that we're able to come to each other, talk to each other about whatever we may be dealing with, even though it may be hard conversations, sometimes painful, but that we can go ahead and talk to each other about whatever we may be dealing with one another outside of that.
Well said. Beautifully said.
And let's have a real conversation. We're all adults, and even though you are my little sister, you are a grown behind woman. Mm-hmm. You've just turned 55, you know, and
a little off. The math is a little off, but it's all right.
Math ain't math in 1983.
It's not well, y'all.
Okay, it's fine. I'm gonna let it slide.
Drink you some water.
Let me get some water. I have my dates on.
Wait, is that water? Is that
yeah, it might be something else. Anyway. It's hard to believe, like we're all getting older, you know. It's hard to believe, you know, that my baby sister is in her 4th decade now.
That's crazy to me too.
But
the 17-year-old that was at our wedding. I mean, just think about that. 17. Yeah, so girl. There you go.
Yeah. But I mean, but you look good. Time has been good to you. You still look like me. So that means you're beautiful. You still look like me. So, you know.
It always comes back to him.
Oh yeah. I'm glad you finally figured it out after 40 years.
Glad you finally figured it out.
Well, let's have a real conversation. I'm dead serious. Like I love God and I love everything that has to do with Him, but I got a beef with the church now. I think the church has failed a lot of people marriage wise. I think they've painted a narrative that now people don't feel comfortable coming to people with problems because they're for fear of being judged or fear of being preached at. I think a lot of young couples are not making it because us older couples, like my wife and I, they're not setting an example. They're not being honest about what they went through. They sit on this pedestal like they've always had it together. They've never had an argument. They never had a disagreement that got out of hand. They've never called each other out their name. And then the younger couples don't feel comfortable coming to them because they're not real, because everybody's afraid of not looking holy. Marriage is not an easy thing. And I don't care what anybody says. As much as I love this woman, there have been times in my marriage where I was like, you know what? You on my nerves today? Yeah. You tap dancing on my last nerve, and that's what it is. And I know I've done the same thing to her. So
absolutely.
You said a little too.
No. I caught that too. It was a little
sharp.
It's the truth, anyhow. It's the truth.
It is the truth. I know I'm a lot, but I'm that dude though. Is it? But I think we've done a horrible job, and we've done a disservice to young couples by not being honest and open in the church. We do not appreciate masculinity in the church the way we should. And I think, and I'm talking about the universal church. I'm not talking about any church in particular.
Local,
It's just universally, especially men that look like you and I, Martin. A masculine man is not really appreciated anymore because he causes problems. He's not agreeable. He may call out some people that don't want to be called out. And I think that has caused a lot of problems in marriages, and a lot of women think that their husband is going to be just like their pastor, and their pastor's not even a real person because you ain't married to that man. You don't know what his wife going through. Yeah. So having seen behind the curtain, in a lot of different scenarios, you just don't know what's going on in the couple's marriage until you actually sit them down and get in front of them. So there's a lot of truth to what you guys are saying there.
I loved everything they said.
Yeah, I think it would behoove a lot of young couples to get around a couple like you that has been there and done it, that's willing to be honest with them. And not just say, girl, just pray about it. It don't matter that he go upside your head every night. Just pray about it. Like it don't matter that your wife spend all the money. Just just pray about it. Could put it under the blood. No.
We need something.
Give me that debit card here. Give me that debit card here, and call the cops next time you decide to go upside somebody's head. So like things like that, people just have swept up under the rug, and it's not good.
Yeah,
I think to everyone's point, because everyone said exactly what I'm or even thinking as well. I think it's hard for our society as a whole, not just the Christian community, but even bigger, extrapolated it out. It's hard for our society to be honest and vulnerable because that's viewed as weakness. And I say that because we have our filtered lives and then we have our real lives. And most people want to give you the filtered version of their life.
Right.
They want to show you their IG pictures. They want to show you all of these things that they're doing. Oh, me and the boo out again, but y'all ain't talking.
Yeah.
Or y'all had an argument literally we have witnessed it. Couples like you in the car seeing this, then they get out. Oh, God bless you. You know it's gonna be. I am so excited about this prayer conference today. But we saw you doing all that in the car.
Right.
So, and again, that's not just the Christian community. I think it's society as a whole. We want to show what we want to show. You can go to work with certain people and you can tell that person that's having an issue in their marriage. And you have an opportunity to say, hey, is everything okay? Oh, girl, everything's fine. Or, hey, is everything okay? No, I'm kind of struggling, kind of going through. Have we done a good job of building safe spaces for people to be open and honest and vulnerable? But when we're putting on performances and shows, and I'm going to leave that right where I said it. Yeah. When we put on performances and shows, you think that the show is always on and it's always pristine and it's always perfect. But these are real people that have real problems. And sometimes they don't get real solutions. They're sermonized to death. They're scripture quoted to death. And then you're sent back out into the world and say, good luck. And then you go into a ministry situation sometimes, and it's like, I want to be open and honest, but ain't nobody else being open and honest. So I'm gonna fake the funk like everybody else doing here. Because I'm not gonna share I am not spilling the tea if ain't nobody else gonna do it. And then you find yourself, sister so-and-so, brother so-and-so, they divorced. You mean nobody saw them struggling? or sister so or Mr. So and so or Miss so and so on your job. Now you knew they were in that cooler room crying. Nobody said, "Hey, what is going on?" So we have to do a way better job, like you said, as seasoned married people. Y'all are a decade in. We're 2 decades in of seeing people and saying, "Hey, I don't know what's going on, and you don't have to tell me your business, but I know pain and brokenness when I see it. I'm here for you." And let it go.
Yeah.
But we have to be willing to extend the olive branch, and I think we just get so used to having this filtered, perfect personification of this is what marriage looks like. No, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
And I need somebody so that's why we created this platform, because we wanted a place where people could come and hear real conversations and see real people talk about the reality of marriage. And it is not always pretty, especially someone like me, a little Black girl that grew up in a dysfunctional home, and I didn't see it. It wasn't modeled. So now it's like, okay, go be married. Good luck.
Yes.
So
yes. And and the part when Mark was saying about, when people say just pray about it, like that is, I'm not saying that prayer is not the solution, because it is, but I need more than that. Give me something that I can take home and I can use to help me in my marriage. I've been praying, so what else? What else can I do to get to the point where me and my husband are about to be separated, we're about to be divorced, or he left, or something like that? What do I need to do? I need more than just that. Give me something else. And that's how we were brought up, Mark. Like just pray about it. Everything was just pray about it. And nothing else was given behind that.
Yeah.
No other wisdom was given behind just pray about it. And that's what we both had to learn, was like, okay, we prayed about it, but we're going to have to do some other kind of work. Because we prayed about it, but there's no other work being done behind it. And the Bible clearly states faith without works is dead. So I can have faith in my marriage is going to work. I can have faith, but if I'm not putting in the work to help to make it work, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
It's just like if you're trying to build something, you're going to need tools to build it. So if they say, okay, hey, you need to go build this marriage. All right, go build it. It's like, well, what tools do I have? Prayer. Okay. What else? Prayer. Okay. What else? Like, I don't have an understanding of how to build this.
Prayer and the word. Okay, prayer and the word of what? And what else? Like,
it's like you setting them up for failure.
Yes.
It's like you just go out there and good luck, figure it out.
Yes, I think that and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get y'all go to your next question. I was watching, I forgot the guy's name, but he was saying that he was talking about how premarital counseling, and he was talking about how the church is, I hate to use the word, but it's what he said. He said the way that premarital counseling is done is garbage to me, because he said in the church, because it's just like a conversation and that's it. It's not any type of processes with it. I wish that we had a process more of our premarital counseling. Not saying that our pastor did a horrible job at it. He did not. But I wish that we had more of a longer process of premarital counseling, or I think the guy did like it was like a month of premarital counseling, because you want to make sure before you go into that, because it's a serious thing. You want to make sure that this is who you really want to marry and spend the rest of your life with, and things like that, because stuff when you say I do, and the guests are gone and everybody's eating cake, then it's just you and him.
It's you and him.
I'm trying to tell you.
You gotta be with this person every day, every night, learning his stuff that you didn't know before then, and
so
it's the lies.
So I'm not perfect like that.
Oh,
I thought I was.
Oh no. Well, no. Yeah, man, I'm sorry, bro. I mean, you're a good man, Mark, but ain't nobody perfect, man.
I'm sorry.
Just give him a few seconds, because he's got to process that.
Yeah, he do. It's okay.
I remember the day you told me I wasn't perfect, and I had
need some milk. But I'm off my soapbox with that.
No,
you're on it though. That's true.
We do what 3 to 6 months.
We recommend 6 months, and then if they're like getting married sooner or they can't do the full 6, we'll condense it 3.
We do. The way we do premarital is we leave no stone unturned. Okay. So a couple will come to us. We have them do a questionnaire. The questionnaire is over 100 questions, and then it goes to a system and it kicks out a report.
Yeah.
The report talks about problem areas that they needed for improvement, and areas of strength and weakness. And what we do is we walk them through all those areas. It can be communication, sex, finances. We talk about
relationships, like family relationships, friendships. It's very, very detailed.
It's very in depth.
Yeah.
So we make sure that when they leave from our offices, they know, do I want to be married to this person? We talk about everything: alcohol consumption, the past, your parents,
addictions,
all of it. And I can say for us, we had a solid 1 hour.
This is why I'm looking at you, that little whack 2 hour. It was 2 because the first few minutes he wanted to get us nice and comfortable and ask us some little pitiful questions.
It was pitiful. It was absolutely pitiful. Looking back now, it actually was shameful. But we were so young, we didn't know.
Yeah,
we didn't really know. But looking back now, it was actually shameful. That man should have never married us.
Nothing. And then that first whole year, we had to figure a whole lot out. And boy, was it rough. Stuff that we didn't know. And again, remember, I didn't see a whole lot of things. My experience was not his experience growing up. So I didn't have the dual parent household and the values that he had. Those things were not instilled in me. I was taught some other stuff. So we had to figure that out, and being around other people that were not necessarily doing the best in their marriage, and they start pouring into you and you start hearing that stuff. So yeah, like y'all were saying earlier, you have to be very selective who you allow around you and to influence your marriage, because you are what you eat and what you consume. It really does matter.
So we got one last question, then we're gonna let you guys plug your businesses, then we're gonna cut you loose. Okay. So one of the main problems that we have, and Martin, you'll agree with me on this, is that a lot of times in a marriage, there's certain ways of doing things. Like when you talk about the house, running the house, most couples, and I don't know why when we got to this mode where women don't want to work no more, but most couples, the woman works. It's like you work, Keita, you work, Martin. So the house has to be clean. If things have to be done, it has to be division of labor. It takes two. There's nothing in this house that I can't do. There's nothing in the house that she can't do. Obviously, if something breaks, I'm not gonna have my wife out there, do anything like that. But I cook, I can clean, I do all those things. I was raised to be that way. So a lot of couples will have conflict over division of labor. That is one of the main things that a lot of couples will have about who's doing what and how often and those things. Give me some things that you guys, some pointers, or how you guys feel about division of labor in the home.
So I will agree with you on the like, it's nothing that I can't do as far as like responsibilities in the home, right? Sometimes she might be like, "Hey, baby, do you mind cooking?" Cool, no problem. Hey, I can cook, clean. I'm good with my hands, so I can build things, fix things, whatever. Obviously, I'm not going to have Keita like doing something crazy. Oh, the dishwasher broke, so that's on you. No, it's so I can do all that because, like you said, like my mom and dad raised me like they didn't want me to be out trying to depend on a woman for anything, so
absolutely.
They taught me how to cook, clean, all that type of stuff. So I can do it all, So if we kind of feel like if it needs to be done, then just do it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there you go.
If the dishes in the sink, don't be like, oh well, that's woman job. Yeah. No, it's whoever sees it. That's on you. Yeah,
I agree with him as well. We do. Sometimes he'll do more than me. It really just depends on. It's a case by case kind of thing. Yeah. But most of the time, because he works at night, I'll do a lot more stuff in the house because I think about him getting his rest and things like that. But even I've gotten out in the yard and mow the grass. I've mowed the grass at mom and dad's house before, so I know how to mow the grass. If my husband is dog tired and he just like, I just cannot mow the grass and the grass is 6 inches high or whatever, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna mow the grass. Now, do I want to do it? No, but I'm thinking about the fact that my husband is tired and I'm gonna go out there and I'm doing it. Like, he ain't gonna let me go out there and work on no car or nothing like that. But little bitty stuff like that, I don't think there's anything wrong with us dividing things like that. I don't put a gender on roles like that.
Yeah. And I think that's the problem right there, is that most people don't have an attitude going into it. They don't realize that it's like we always say, every problem is a us problem. And so the answer to the question simply is this: it's whatever works for your marriage.
That's what it is.
That's the answer to the question. Everybody has these things about, oh, that's a man's job, that's a woman's job. There's certain things that my wife is not going to do. Like she said, she's not going to be up on no car, change no tire, and nothing like that, and things like that. But then
I could though. Look at these hands.
The tiny little hand.
They can get in some places.
They're mighty.
They're tiny, and so
tiny and mighty.
There you go. But there's marriage. What people learn, marriage is about seasons.
Yeah.
So that was a season in our marriage where she was working and I was going to school full time. There was like a year and a half there where she was working full time. I had baby girl and I was going to school full time. So yeah, I did the majority of the cooking, cleaning, all that stuff. But there's also a season in our marriage where she was home with the kids. She was homeschooling our kids, and I was working full time. And of course, I did less around the house as far as cooking, cleaning, and folding clothes, stuff like that. So it's all about the season that you're in. And I think couples will be better served if they just look at it from their standpoint, not what they see on social media.
Yeah.
On Real Housewives or whatever. You got people that make a grand total of $60,000 a year talking about they want a maid. If you don't hush, just shut your mouth.
That's a minute maid.
What I'm talking about. So we just got a bunch of weirdos out here just talking in front of the camera. And a lot of these young couples are listening to that. You don't make it to 24 years together without a lot of compromise. Yeah. And our marriage so many different seasons, working, not working, home with the kids. Like she's back home again. She's working part-time from home. And so I work full-time and those things. So I don't, when I get off work, I don't expect to come home and have to fold 3 or 4 loads of clothes. That's right. But I don't mind cooking it, even if you had a long day or whatever happened. I love to cook. So I'll cook, no problem. I'll go mow the yard. Like tomorrow, even when I get home from work, I got to go mow the yard because our grass getting a little long. Compromise. It's not about him doing this and her. You cook the meals and I provide, like all this weirdo stuff people just talk about on this platform. Yeah. It really takes a lot of compromise.
It takes a lot of compromise, and so in order to have those compromises, you have to have those conversations. And it amazes us how many people don't sit down and have conversations. And just like you would in a normal partnership, if you're thinking about business, if you have a business partner, you and that partner need to have regular business meetings. Well, so do marriages. You should have regular conversations, whether you're out to dinner, whether you are literally sitting down and saying, okay, we need to talk about X, Y, and Z. Have those conversations so that you both are on the same page. So one person isn't assuming something, or one person doesn't have an unrealistic expectation, and then arguments, fights, and all that stuff is happening. Just have a conversation. It's not hard. Hey, babe, I don't mind doing whatever. What do you think about that? And just have a quick conversation. It does nothing long and drawn out. And like you said, seasons matter. So if you're one of you it might be in school, or one of you might have double shifts at work, or one of you might be sick in your body. Like there's all kinds of children, all kinds of things that could dictate the season, or a family member is ill and I've got to kind of serve that person or whatever. It is what it is. So you have to be flexible and be ready to pivot and serve where you need to. But have those conversations, talk.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think a prime example for another example real quick is just, you may not like the way somebody does something. So she doesn't like the way I clean bathrooms.
I mean, so do we always have to talk?
Yes, because it's a perfect example. Relax, bro. And so, like, she doesn't care totally. Like, I can clean a bathroom and spot clean it really good, but Chantel likes a good deep cleaning of her bathroom. So I learned early on, okay, that's you. That's your thing. If you want it to clean a certain type of way, and you're not going to go behind me and getting up under the doggone whatever, the back of the toilet.
Because we're this stuff.
I'm not. No, it's not. If you like to do that, then go ahead and do that, sweetie. I'm not pressed about it. That's your thing. And so that's kind of the way it works. And let's say I don't like the way a certain dishes she cook. If I want spaghetti tonight, I don't want her cooking spaghetti because she don't season the way I like to season it. So guess what?
But I season on spaghetti.
And so I got the spaghetti.
You
I'm cool. Lie. I'm cool with it. What?
You a lie.
What?
Don't play with me.
That look said about 10 different things.
So you got to learn what works. That's all I'm saying. You got to learn what works, and it's okay if you have certain things that are done a certain type of way. A lot of couples get in trouble because like she'll get mad at him because he doesn't clean the bathroom the way she cleans it. Well, sweetheart, if you want to clean that way, go ahead and clean it. I'll do this over here. I'm really good at washing dishes. I'll wash the dishes. So it's that compromise back and forth. A lot of couples get in trouble because he or she wants that person to come up to their level of what they want to do. And you start a power struggle within the marriage. And then next thing y'all arguing about something stupid about like some dishes.
Yeah.
Instead of making sweet love. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Making sweet love. Sweet.
Want to wrap this up?
Yeah. You brought up a really good point. So what final advice do you have before we get to your personal, like your business and plugging that? What final advice do you have about conflict resolution? So we were just talking about, deep clean the bathroom and I don't like how you do it and all this and how it can really start some unnecessary disagreements. What advice would you say, just one quick thing could you tell couples on how could they work on resolving conflict within their marriage?
Always go to that person in a calm spirit, because you never want to go to somebody feeling maybe how you feel at that moment. Like if you're frustrated, angry, and you go to that person, you need to do this. So it's always going to come off as negative. So you want to go in and say, hey, look, okay, I don't like the way you do this, right? Is it maybe can you do it a little differently? So you got to go to that person in a calm way. Cool of the day, as she said earlier, because you don't want to go. If both of y'all already heated, then y'all just both adding fuel to each other's fire, and it's just gonna blow up. Yeah. Then you're gonna be sad. I ain't never like your mama. Wait a minute, what?
Way out of line.
Where did that come from? Now you got a whole nother conversation you gotta have.
Yeah. Well, I would say also I agree with Martin. Go to that person when you calm and just make sure that you have an open heart to what they're saying to you. If Martin is telling me how he feels, then I'm not just going I should not automatically just shut him down because I don't like what he's saying. Take the time to listen to your spouse and listen to what they're saying, even if you don't agree with it, even if you like that's totally wrong or whatever. Take the time to listen to them because what they're saying is important to. If it's not important to you, it's definitely important to them. So just take the time out to listen to what they're saying. Okay, I hear you. I'm processing it. I'll do better. That's what he has to do to me. I had to learn because I'm like I said earlier, I'm a person like to. I learned how to go to a person when I'm calmed down now, but I used to be a person like, no, we gotta talk right now. But when I don't be hearing him. I don't hear him when I'm angry. I don't hear him when I'm frustrated. And he's trying to tell me how he feels. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I need you to do, okay. He then he gets to a point like, okay, whatever. Because he know I haven't listened to him. So when he's saying to his frustrations. So he's probably thinking like, well, I can't go to her and tell her how I feel because she really won't listen to me because she's upset. So it goes both ways. Go to them when you're calm. And when you're calm, make sure you listen. So
very good. I like that.
That is the advice that I would give to any married couple.
And that's perfect. Because that's exactly what I'll speak this from a man's standpoint. A lot of men will say just that. I don't go to my wife. I can't tell her nothing because if I tell her that, we're not having enough sex, then all of a sudden it's about what I'm not doing. It's about me, and it becomes more about how I made her feel than me bringing that to her. So that's how you end up with grandpa in the rocking chair after 50 years of marriage, not saying nothing. He ain't got nothing to say. He ain't got the pain about nothing because every time he speaks up, it's shouted down. So a lot of men feel that way in their marriages and behind doors and places that men won't dare speak. That's how a lot of men feel in their marriages, because if he goes to her with an issue or a problem, it immediately is going to be deflected and flipped back on him. And then she's crying. It becomes more about how I made her feel than about my issue.
Yeah, that listening piece is key. And
It's
I
very
think
important.
a lot of times us women like to share our emotions and how we're feeling, but not necessarily quieting ourselves and listening and really receiving from what our partner says. So yeah, Keita, you hit the nail on the head right there. Both of you guys,
Absolutely.
great points.
Well, we both know that you guys are budding entrepreneurs. I know, dear sister, you have your TikTok where you do your makeup tutorials, and you work. I've seen the magic you work over there, because I see some before pictures and I see some after pictures. What, man? I'm just saying.
Don't do that,
man. Makeup can be that is
let's let
witchcraft.
her tell. Keita, just.
So Keita, tell me,
share how we can
share your TikTok, sweetheart.
I have TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. So my Facebook is Enhancing You by K. Cole. My TikTok is EU by K. Cole. And my Instagram is, what is my Instagram? My Instagram is EU by K. Cole also. So if you would like to follow me, I am on all 3 of those social media platforms.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Doing the Lord's work over there. Ooh, yes, Lord.
Yeah. I mean,
no, Martin, don't do it. Don't even feel like you need to.
Hey.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's nice. You didn't get hot. You drinking your water?
I'm cool.
Are you drinking?
I'm good, man.
Get another
I am good.
You go ahead, baby. Move right along.
Martin, you still doing your detailing and DJ thing?
Well, the DJ thing on occasion, detailing. Yeah, I'm still doing that. So I'm on Facebook at Every Little Detail. I'm on Facebook, and I do have a website, everylittledetail.com. You can see my work on there, book appointments or anything like that. As long as you're in the Mobile area, because I get a lot of people from other states. It's like, I thought you were over here. Like, I wish I could come over there.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah. So yeah.
All you gotta do is move to Texas, man. I told y'all.
Yeah, it's funny because we booked we booked our appointment.
You know what? We go in this. But it's been great having y'all on. And, we gonna stop recording. Right? We're gonna have a conversation after we stop recording, but we have thoroughly enjoyed you. And like I said, this is my biological sister. And my brother. We love them to death.
Love you both.
And thank y'all so much for hanging out with us for a little while and blessing us with such good things. And so it touches my heart as a big brother to see my sister happy and being treated well.
Absolutely.
Because I really would hate to murder you, Martin. Because I love you, man.
I think you should.
I understand.
I think you.
You have a sister. You get it. But at the end of the day,
he was like,
yeah.
we gotta move. Though.
Y'all good.
No, it's fine.
But we're always here for you guys if you need it. But thank you guys for hanging out with us on.
Thank you.
Unapologetically.
This is fun.